Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today, with 2022 coming to a close, I want to talk about why I think World Boss Ultimate is ruining the game for a lot of players. And I know everyone's first impression is going to be, or first take is going to be, oh yeah, it's ruining the game for newer players, but I think it's also ruining the game for seasoned veterans for a different reason. Now, this is just a little bit of footage I wanted to start the video off of me clearly being able to just dominate World Boss Ultimate stage 99, like the pinnacle of World Boss Ultimate, with a random character, in this case a tier 2 rocket with a uniform from what, 2019, just because I have Pierce and I have one striker. In this case it's Rachel Summers. Super easy stuff here, but let's get into the details on why I think World Boss Legend is ruining Marvel Future Fight. And essentially it's a two-part question. It's a two-part tackle. On the one hand, you have the fact that there's multiple things going on here, but I think one of the biggest draws to Marvel Future Fight these days is when they drop new World Boss Legends. And it's evidenced by the fact that they make such a big deal out of it in their patch notes, in their dev notes, where they're saying, hey guys, we're going to add 2 to 3 new World Boss Legends every year. Think about that. That's meant to be like a flagship event, right? Yo, new World Boss Legend is coming. They even have, just to show you guys, just to reinforce how important these things are to the devs, they created entire events revolving around the introduction of these new World Boss Legends, right? They introduced new mechanics, yada yada yada, etc. Okay, cool. So what's the problem? Well, obviously the problem is that World Boss Ultimate holds back players from experiencing the World Boss Legends, because not only do you have to clear World Boss Ultimates in order to unlock World Boss Legends, right? Because you have to unlock Null in order to then unlock Mephisto's, then unlock Ult. Like, you have to go through the fire here, or you have to pay 5,000 to 10,000 crystals. No biggie there, right? You have to do all that. But then on top of that, you have this situation for existing veterans where if you want to fight a specific boss, because these two things are not segmented into separate categories, it's all just one group. So now I'm stuck where I'm like, okay, I want to fight one of the new bosses as my boss of the day. I'm gonna have to spend, who knows, right? Who knows? This could end up being a really expensive take here. I just got Null 3 times. So this is one of the bigger problems here, but there's lots of other problems going along with it at the same time. Another big problem is that players are not really getting ahead on their accounts by playing World Boss Ultimate. So it's a very misleading piece of content attached to basically the most important content in Marvel Future Fight, right? Imagine that you're going somewhere that's super important. You're going to like a ceremony, but at the same time as the ceremony is happening, there's another smaller ceremony happening that actually has very little impact on you whatsoever. But you're sort of misled, especially if you're new. You're like, I don't know which ceremony to go to. A lot of players have this issue. They're like, oh wow, I see all these ultimate bosses. Maybe I should fight some of these guys. Again, you're hamstringing yourself. You're slowing yourself down from progressing your account faster, and you're going to burn out in the game faster by grinding through this nonsense, right? It made sense years ago when World Boss Legend didn't exist, but nowadays, if you're anywhere near 100 Conqueror level for any of these bosses, then you're playing very inefficiently. Very, very inefficiently. So it makes very little to no sense, right? The only vestige of World Boss Ultimate that matters at all is the Odin's Blessings. That's it. Literally, there's nothing else. And that's literally the only reason why more players haven't gotten on this bandwagon of asking the devs to basically get rid of World Boss Ultimate or upgrade it, because you can still target farm a few Odin's Blessings. And what scares me the most is that they added the Conqueror level 100 to 200, which to me indicates that they're not planning on doing anything substantially different to these World Boss Ultimates. And that's really, in my opinion, a stupid idea. It's a dumb move, because let's be real, right? With the value of tier 4 material drops, right? Life Seed and Carbonadium, you cannot afford to skip World Boss Legend, right? New players are told you have to unlock Null as fast as possible. That is your goal. You're going to unlock this dude as fast as you can, and then you're just going to farm his tits off. Why are you going to do that? Because you need to get this, and you need to get this, and you're also going to get a lot more of this, and you're also going to get guaranteed this. So what are you giving up, right? It doesn't make any sense. So then the players are looking at this old content and they're like, so why did I have to do this? When Null is so clearly superior in every way, shape, and form in terms of rewards, he drops more tier 3 rewards, guaranteed CCF, and he drops tier 4 rewards, and you have a small chance of getting a mighty CTP, which is essentially worth 2 CTPs. All that against, oh, there's a chance you could get an Odin's Blessing. Wow. Again, it's like, would you rather go to work and collect $1,000 a week? You just walk in, collect $1,000 and leave. Would you rather do that? Or would you rather go down into the coal mines and work for 8 hours and maybe you find an emerald worth $500 and you sell that yourself on the market? Maybe, right? It doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't make any sense at all. So I really think they have two choices here. Their first choice is to upgrade, and I think this is the better choice, although it takes a lot more work, is to upgrade all of the World Boss Ultimates so that they are, in essence, they're World Boss Legends, right? And I think players would be fine with that, especially since all of these characters you're seeing here have new uniforms. So they can just take the existing content. Like, this is an easy solution, right? You can just take the existing content that you have for these characters, new World Boss Legend Quicksilver, and give him this uniform, or give him a new uniform, or give him one of his old uniforms. It doesn't matter, because in his base look, you're fighting this dude who has white eyebrows. For Proxima, you have this look, right? You get what I'm saying. For Thanos, you have so many different options, right? Because again, you're fighting this version of Thanos in the fight. You have 4 other options to choose from, and again, that doesn't include another option, right? Just, or whatever, one of these existing options, but just give him the Infinity Gauntlet. You see what I'm saying? So this is really what it should be. You should take the existing content that's available for players, because it's also confusing, right? You see players, oh, I'm using Apocalypse, they're using this Apocalypse, but then you go and fight Apocalypse and he's doing this goofy stuff and he's summoning these pylons, and you're like, what is going on, dude? What are you on about? So there's this massive disconnect, and I honestly think, given that World Boss is the most important game mode in Marvel Future Fight, and it's the game mode that they're clearly the most invested in, that they need to address this issue sooner rather than later, because we're getting further and further away from the first tier 4s being introduced, right? It's almost a year now. Once we get around, like, it's been like 7.5, 8 months since Iron Man was released. So this is like, the cat's out of the bag here. You're not going to go back on this. What are you gonna do? You're gonna put tier 4 materials in World Boss Ultimate? That doesn't make any sense either. They're definitely not gonna do that and give players an easier way to get tier 4 materials. So this bottleneck just makes no sense. This is designed to slow down new players way too much in a time where, as the game gets older and older, you actually have to speed up how fast new players are catching up to the content. That's one reason why they need to address this World Boss Ultimate shenanigan. And then 2, you're frustrating older players, right? You're frustrating the older, more dedicated players, because now they're being forced to spend their finite resource of gold to refresh this content, which again, they shouldn't have to do, right? I shouldn't have to spend more than a couple million gold. I've already spent way more than 2 million gold, by the way. But you shouldn't have to spend potentially all of your gold, if you get unlucky, trying to get a boss out of a list of 5 bosses that you want, but there's another list of 10 that's just pissing you off, right? There's like a 66% chance that I'm gonna roll some dumb boss that I will never fight again, because of the way you guys have designed the rewards, and because you also refuse to upgrade these bosses to be in line with the reward cycle that we are in, right? We're far beyond the reward cycle of World Boss Ultimate. And sure, Jean Grey drops feathers, right? Jean Grey drops feathers and Emkron crystals, and players are willing to play her, but only because she also drops Carbonadium, Life Seed, guaranteed CCF, right? She drops all that stuff. So if Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver and Cable, if they and Apocalypse, if they also dropped tier 4 materials and guaranteed CCF, people would go back and play them. It's very simple, but the rewards are not balanced. And so it's really, in my opinion, it's ruining the game, right? It's almost as if, imagine, right? This sounds dumb, but it's exactly the same scenario. Imagine if you couldn't choose Dormammu, You see what I'm saying? This is the exact same situation. Dormammu is World Boss Legend, and then Galactus and Master Mold are World Boss Ultimate. But imagine, look, you can just choose who you want. What a novel idea. So either they have to bring this to World Boss Legend and World Boss Ultimate where you can just choose yourself, or they need to upgrade the rewards of these two. Because the fact that it's random completely ruins the game mode for most players, right? Because you either have to spend the money, spend the gold, or you have to get stuck not playing your world boss of the day, and you're giving up a lot of rewards by doing that. And if you do that consistently, you're gonna fall behind other players. But like, just imagine how much shittier Giant Boss Raid would be if you couldn't choose Dormammu every day, if it was just random. Hey guys, you want to play GBR? Galactus is my boss of the day. No one wants to play with you. It's over. You know, it's such a dumb experience. So yeah, they really need to fix that. I understand that it's a gold sink. I understand that World Boss Legend rolling is a gold sink for them. But they need to get rid of it, because all it does is frustrate players, right? It's not a successful gold sink. It's just a way to piss players off. And the bigger problem is that you are slowing down newer players to the point where they're going to quit the game before they get to the point where they're encouraged and they're actually excited to spend some money, because ultimately that's the goal with all these mobile games. They're just trying to get you to play for as long as possible until you spend money, until you're like, okay, you know, I've gotten my value for free. I'll spend $5. I'll spend $10. But you can't do that if you're going to torture the player by telling them to beat Quicksilver 50 million times, then beat the crap out of his sister 50 million times, then beat the crap out of this time-traveling orphan 50 times, and then beat the crap out of this bald, you know, ancient, you know, mutant god. All that just to beat up on L'Oreal over here, right? You're doing all that just to get to him. And then you have to listen to all the vets telling you how easy Null is because they're getting their asses handed to them by Gene. Right? It's a pretty bad system in its current form, and I think this year, like next year, has to be the year where they address this. They either need to upgrade the World Boss Ultimates to match the drops or almost match the drops of World Boss Legend, or they need to just get rid of this content, or probably the easiest way out is to just segment the content. Give us 5 clears of World Boss Legend and 5 clears of World Boss Ultimate, and for every clear that you do in one, it takes away one from the other. So you can choose if you're doing World Boss Ultimate or if you're doing World Boss Legend, but you should only be able to roll bosses that are either, like, they're literally in tabs for a reason. It's literally right there. So yeah, it may be a bit of hyperbole to say that it's ruining the game. It may not be. You let me know down below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.